Greetings, Moonlight citizens. This is your Moonlight King letting you know that this episode of Moonlight Kingdom Reviews will be reviewing none other than the Denis Villeneuve directed, Timothee Chalamet, Zendaya starring Dune Part 2. That's right, y'all. And it review is coming to you live right here and now on this episode of Moonlight Kingdom Reviews. In 3, 2, 1, boom. As you would know by now, most episodes dive into some background on the movie that we will be discussing, and this episode is no different because we are discussing Dune 2, directed by Denis Villeneuve, with a screenplay by Denis Villeneuve and John Spates, based on Dune by Frank Herbert. This movie is Legendary Pictures and WB, I think. It's a joint production thing, and, just like the last one, it stars Timothee Chalamet, Zendaya, Rebecca Ferguson. This is a pretty stacked cast, by the way. Josh Brolin, Austin Butler, Florence Pugh, Dave Batista, Christopher Walken, Lea Seydoux, Charlotte Rampling, Javier Bardem, and more. And let's not forget Stellan Skarsgård, the big old Vladimir Harkonnen, I think his name is. Yeah. With the score done by Hans Zimmer, the production company behind this movie is Legendary Pictures, and the distributed by Warner Brothers, with the release date of March 1, 2024. This was a phenomenal movie. It has a runtime of 160 minutes. You don't really feel that, by the way. You don't feel that sitting in the theater. I'm just saying that much. And with a budget of 190 million, this movie has grossed a total of $704.5 million, making it the highest grossing movie of 2024 as of late. Until something comes along that maybe knocks that figure out the park, this movie, as of late, is the highest grossing movie of 2024. Big success all around, and in better news, due to the widespread, acclaim from critics and audiences alike, and the major box office success of the movie, a sequel based on the book Dune Messiah is in development. So we're gonna get a Dune Part 3, and that's the background we need for that. So yeah, that's all the background you really need. You know who's in it. What led to the movie being made. Due to the success of the last movie, and how well it did, how much money it made. This what led to the green lighting of Dune Part 2. And there was initially some worry that they might not get a Part 2 because the movie might underperform, because originally Warner Bros. Wanted to release Dune like the same day and time in cinemas as it was in streaming. But the movie did well. That movie at the time it was released proved that it wasn't a case of like blockbuster fatigue wasn't a thing. This movie, Dune Part 2, and the movie before it proved that blockbuster fatigue wasn't setting in. Bad blockbuster fatigue was setting in. Like kind of what's going on with superhero movies. It's like fans aren't with the success of movies like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and The Batman, it shows like superhero movie fatigue isn't the issue. Bad superhero movies, that's the issue. Like, that's what people don't like. Anyway, that's enough background. Let's get into the movie itself on this episode of Moonlight Kingdom Reviews. All right, let's get into this. This movie, right out of the gate, man, spoilers. If you haven't seen it, that's on you. It's May right now. So if you haven't seen it in March, April, May, like, come on, what are you doing, man? Spoiler. This movie is The Matrix meets the American Revolution. That's to sum it all up. Like right out of the gate, big headline: The Matrix meets American Revolution. I saw this in IMAX, so the big screen, the music, the sound, the score kicked ass in this movie. It kicked 50 Shades of ass in this movie, man. Like especially in an IMAX viewing. The movie follows Paul Atreides in the aftermath of his family being attacked by the Harkonnens and the Sardaukar, and being wiped out at the behest of the Emperor, in collusion with the Baron Harkonnen. So and he's currently living in the desert with his mother amidst the Fremen people, and he is struggling to come to terms with the grab. Like he might be the one, the prophesized, one who will lead the Fremen people to, freedom from the Harkonnens and all their horribleness. So the relationship between Stilgar and Paul in this movie is a lot like for reference. Stilgar is Javier Bardem's character. The relationship between the two is a lot like that of Neo and Morpheus, in that even though Paul doesn't believe in the prophecy of the One, he doesn't believe that he's the guy. He in his eyes he's just a regular person. Stilgar believes to the point that he's willing to like give his life for it. Like he's willing to bet it all on this dude. He even tell him straight up like, it doesn't matter that you don't believe, I do. Like, so yeah, it doesn't matter that you don't believe whether it's real or not. I believe that it's real because it is. Like there's too much evidence for us to be like shrugging our heads and not believing any of it. So yeah. Yeah, so there's this thing going on, and like it's not just him who like goes through trial and error. His mother does too. And to become one of the Fremen women, the not Kwisatz Haderach, not Isan Agaib, not Muad'Dib, the one of the old ladies, man. She becomes one of those ladies that are part of the tribe, and she's basically like the child she's carrying in her womb. Like it talks to her, and like Paul can communicate with it, and because he can, like, he has visions, like he can see into the future, and like so can she to an extent. Like I guess like I'm not particularly jazzed on like I'm not particularly full versed in the book or anything. I only know as much as the original Dune, like what David Lynch, and what I've been told by a friend of mine, and well what I've seen in this movie. Like, so there's this process that she has to go through where she like drinks this juice, and if you survive, then okay, like it proves that you are everything you say you are. Like you say like he's the one or he could be the one, then prove it. Because this is a way to prove it. Drink this blue juice, and if you survive, it prove it. If you die, hey, you're full of crap. And she survived. Thing is, so his mom survives the process to become a reverend mother, but like Zendaya, like Chani, and like her side, the Fremen people are fractured. There's like a side that believes in the prophecy, and another side that doesn't, and thinks like, no, the Fremen should free themselves. It should be a Fremen man who like leads the way. The Fremen should free themselves from oppression, and the belief in the one is just another system of oppression designed to keep them in place. That's why I say this is a lot like the Matrix. There's a theory that the idea of the one was created solely as another measure of control by the machines. So yeah, thing is, his mother survives the process to become a Reverend Mother, but Zendaya and her group, they don't believe it's a miracle, even though they thought like, the whole reason they allowed it to happen are like, whatever, she's not gonna survive. It's gonna prove once and for all this is nonsense. There is no the one. But then she survived, and it's like, it's still crap. This doesn't prove anything. Like, man, it like still got people like, this proves everything. Like, yo, you said, hey, if she survives, it's proof. There's proof. Like, this doesn't prove anything. But like, yeah, whatever. It's fun. Like that. It's good that there isn't a total acceptance of it all, as realistically there wouldn't be. But yeah, they didn't have a problem with it when they thought that she would bite it. But she thought she would just bite the dust when she drank thing. But once she survived, now all of a sudden it's like, oh, this test is it's like it doesn't mean anything. This test is nonsense. Like her survival proves it. Like, what the heck, man? You're changing the terms of the thing because you lost. Like, what? Come on, man. Paul, and like she really leans into it. Like Paul's mother, when she becomes Reverend Mother, she really leans into it. She realizes that him being perceived as the one who will save them all and the chosen one, like who's gonna like lead the Fremen people, everything it's in their best interest for the people to believe that, and she wants to get as many people believing that as possible. So her becoming a Reverend Mother is gonna help achieve their goal to get all the Fremen people behind Paul, and get revenge on the Harkonnens and the all the stuff that happened because of that. That's the best route to go for. So she's all in on that, and he is not quite so sure. Like he's not, he's reluctant. Paul in this movie is more George Washington than Space Jesus. Like when I initially was watching this film, I'm thinking like, oh, this is like basically gonna be the story of like basically Space Jesus when you think about it. But no, it turns out this is more George Washington than Space Jesus in the fact that, according to history, Washington initially didn't want to be president. He didn't want to be the first president. He thought there were other dudes who were like more capable for the job. And apparently, and this is just what I've heard, that his reluctance to become president and his belief to be like, his humbleness is what, swayed people to be like, he's definitely the guy because he doesn't want to be the guy. He thinks there are better people suited for the job. Only the guy would say that. Like, and this like still goes thing where like because Washington didn't want to be president and Paul doesn't want to be the leader of these people. Like those around him think he's just being humble, which in their eyes proves he's the one. He's more Moses than Jesus in some ways because he delivers his people from the reign of a tyrannical ruler. They cross the desert to do so, and it all gets washed away in like not a flood, but like that's technically it's more of a swarm than a flood in the end. But like yeah, it's and there's a promise of like rain and like green the beach and all that, and it's beautiful. There's all this imagery. There's all this kind of you can see it how you want to see it. You want to see Paul as Moses, you can see him kind of like that. Not really, but like not entirely, but kind of. And one could perceive Fade Rafa as like the Ramesses in the story, but whatever. You can see it how you want it. You can see it as this tale of space Jesus because Paul dies and comes back, or you can see however the classic story of the one in Neo and the Matrix, or Luke in Star Wars, but better. uh he's gonna free people from the reign of a tyrannical ruler and cross there to do so. We can't tell exactly how much time passes in the film, like over the course of the film, as Paul becomes accustomed to the lifestyle of a Fremen and living in the desert, essentially becoming one of them. But we know that significant time passes. Like it could be months, or years, because he's a different dude from when he left. So yeah, it could be several months. It's at the very least several months, if not years. Because over the course of the movie, his eyes go from like not blue at all to like full on blue. Whereas like, the in before him and Zendaya actually Zendaya's character Chani became a thing, they were like still white, but now by the end of the movie, they're like blue, blue, blue. So yeah, the movie goes from some believe in him and like some don't to like, towards the end, like everybody believes. And his mother is now a reverend mother with plans to get everybody in the South believing he's the one. I get what they were going for when they took all the color out of the Harkonnen planet. Like, oh, this is like with a good one though, man. Like this when the story visits the Harkonnen planet and is to introduce the new villain of the piece. In this Harkonnen, like they sapped all. In this planet, there's no color. Everything is black, white, and gray. It is monochrome. It is so visually striking. Right up until Vladimir shows up, looking like like this desaturation, like the lack of color here does nothing for him. It just turns him into the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Damn. Hot damn, dude. In this black and white world, you just look like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, dude. All that's missing is the little hat. Like, where's Egon in there, huh? Uh, but all that laughing goes away once Fade shows up, man. Fade is straight up menacing. A straight up menace. MC8 would call it on that one. Straight up menace. And when I first saw him, he reminded me of like 2010 Randy Orton, like with the bald head, and he was just like punt kicking fools, and like it was kind of like that. Like Fade in this version, like he kills for the sake of killing. Whereas before, when he was like played by Sting, it was like he enjoyed the sport of it all, like a game hunter more than like a predator of sorts. Like I like that he no longer has the Elvis voice. Like Austin Butler, I like that he no longer has the Elvis voice. Like he sounds almost just like Vladimir. It would make sense. Like they are related and everything, so it makes sense there. And but like, dude, there's a scene where he was fighting these guys in his cage, and like, this gladiator arena, and he kills a few of them, and he realizes the last one isn't drugged up, and he's like living for this shit, like, this guy's not doped up at all. Well, oh, this should be interesting. And he finally takes him down, but then he confronts his uncle, like you didn't like dope up that last guy. Like you wanted to have me, you tried to take me out. Like, I'm like, come on, dude. Just that was a regular guy. That was just a regular dude. Did you really think just because he wasn't doped up that this was some huge plot to get you taken out by some ordinary citizen? Like, what the heck, man? Come on, like be real, dude. Even his uncle was like, come on, dude. Like that was just I just wanted to like make you look good, Like before, like it was kind of a known thing that these fights were fixed in a way, but like having the dude at the end not be doped up, like, and having like the whole planet witness him get taken out by Fade and like properly defend himself and still get taken out, it showed like he's not just this planet's version of like a rich playboy. He can fight. He's merciless. He's bad. He's bad. Like, but yeah, the fireworks on the Harkonnen planet kind of look like blood drops in black and white. Like when a blood drop gets dropped on a piece of glass and it like spreads out and you put that under a microscope, it kind of looks like that. It's unlike usual fireworks, and the flashes it produces are more like lightning, and it makes for this great shot when he's like walking down the hallway to meet Lea Sado. It makes sense that everything is monochrome in the world because like the sun is white, which like makes me wonder, like, if our sun wasn't yellow, would that affect how we see things? Like, would we even know color if everything was lit in monochrome or like any color but the one that our sun makes? I mean, it just had me thinking, if we had a blue sun, everything would be blue with like the way we see color and everything changed. So many things would be different if our sun was a different color. You know, it's something to think about. Yeah. Anyway, this score is amazing. Hans Zimmer, you did it again, man. Yeah, we did it. Yeah, we did it. You did it, man. You did it. Props to you. This film score is beautiful, dude. When Paul rides the worm and like his theme kicks in, like "Nah, eh, to give up," it was in the first trailer, and it's like, yeah, baby, he did it. Yeah, I mean, we know he would do it, but still, man, shit, felt good. Oh, Paul rides the worm. It's this good. It really makes that moment. And when Faye takes on that last surviving tradies in the arena, it like the music going on there really like sells them like the what's going on and that like so many things in this film is enhanced by the music. The music should enhance what's going on in the story. It shouldn't distract from it, and it shouldn't just be background noise so that the story isn't quiet. I'm looking at you, Madam Webb. Anyway, um, I like the contrast between the Fremen and the Harkonnen in like the terms of like their attire because like the Fremen wear like tan and brown attire to match the desert and like how they have a respect for the world they live in as well as like the value of water and its life-giving properties while the Harkonnen are dressed in like all black and they use like fire like to destroy everything and like take because the Fremen are all about giving back. Even when someone dies, like you take the water out of their body and you give it back into like this pool of like soul water basically, and the Fremen are just about destruction and death and destroying everything, So yeah, it was fitting to see the contrast between the two sides. Like this is clearly evil, and the good, the innocent, basically the clearly evil and the innocent. So yeah, so Paul, eventually gives in, and he decides to take a sip of what like his mama took to prove that all this he finally given to this one business. So he dies and comes back. Thanks to Chani. It's like that moment in Hellboy where like Liz is like by his side and like Hellboy is dying and like that thing with the wings, it's like give him a reason to come back. And like, yeah, it's kind of like that, that's what she was kind of doing, like I like that her character is given a lot more to do. She's a lot more important to the story. She's not just like the hero's love interest or whatever. She's her own character with her own missions and like things to do and beliefs. And it's pretty good. Like she's the one who brings him back. He doesn't just come back from by himself because he's the one. It's kind of like Neo when he died, and it was Trinity who brought him back from the brink. So yeah, once he comes back, he goes full Neo. Like he's all in on like the idea of being the one, and he shows his power in like front of all the Fremen leaders. He has like the genetic memory of like hundreds and hundreds of years of all these different people. He knows stuff about this planet. Like all the people alive now don't know. Only like the oldest know. Like this planet had a different name. Like this planet was called Dune. They get the most badass title drop I've ever heard in years. It's like when Paul says this one guy, like this world that had a Fremen name, Dune, and like, damn, roll credits, baby. That was a title card. That was a title drop right there, man. And then it's like they kick off the war. He's leading everybody now. Like he's like, man, I ain't gotta like they try to tell them like only chiefs, only like the heads of like each of Fremen tribes can speak up at these kind of meetings. You gotta abide by a thing. You gotta take out Stilgar if you want to be the lead. Like, and he just gets up after being things. He basically says, "I ain't gotta do none of that. All right, I'm the one. I'm the guy I'm the one. I ain't gotta do none of that. I know everything. All right. I know this planet had a different name. It used to be called Dune. All right. There's your proof that I am what I say I am. And right now, I'm the one calling the shots. Dig it." And so they dig it and they go to war with the Sardaukar. Ah, it's glorious, man. There's all these explosions and these epic sweeping battles throughout. I mean, before they were just using guerrilla tactics to take out Harkonnen machines, but like now, dude, it's beautiful, man. It's like I've never seen this before. This battle was beautiful, and it's thematically fitting that the last time in the last movie, like Gurney was at the palace, he was fighting to defend from the Harkonnens and like Sardaukar, and now he's returned. He's on the offensive against the Harkonnen, and they're the ones on the defensive. So that was pretty fitting, and it ends with like him and Batista's character fighting, and that fight is over pretty quickly, which was kind of like anticlimactic because it's like, oh man, but I get it. We got a fight coming up, and we don't want to like dull that fight's shine by having another fight so close to it that's like also long and epic. Speaking of that fight, the sound design on that fight is amazing. The fight is pretty good, and you know, when Fade in that other fight in the arena when he fought the other of Atreides, he kills that guy and he tells him, "You fight well, Atreides," and then he takes him out. We get a callback to that because like when after he's beaten Paul, when he's getting, you know, he's about to be taken out by Paul. See, the fight is good. It's got back and forth. The hero isn't just totally untouchable. Now that he's discovered his oneness, he actually does take some like serious blows. But when you know, Paul's about to take him out, like he's able to like Fade is able to say, you know, "You fight well, Atreides." And this time it's the last time it was like a recognition, like, "Hey man, you fought well, but in the end, you know, I still got you." Is like in this time it's flipped because it's like, "Man, I gave it everything I got, but damn it, on this day you were the better guy. You know, you bested me." And, you know, was just letting him know, like, "Hey, before you take me out, I want to know. Respect." There's this almost foreboding song that plays after Paul kills Frade. Instead of this like triumphant thing with like horns, like bravo or something, it's not like that at all. You know, it's like it's saying like, yeah, this is the end. You know, Fade is dead. Paul's taking the Emperor's ring. He's taking his daughter as marriage. It's like, yeah, we won. You know, but it's like it's almost like a Pyrrhic victory almost because it's like it's not necessarily a happy tone. It acknowledges like, yeah, it's a good ending theme, but it's not a happy ending theme because it's like we won, but at like what cost? What was lost in the process, man? Like this is an ending that doesn't necessarily mean it's good for everybody. It's a good ending, but may not be good for everybody. So the end credits song kind of reminds me of Gladiator, though. I will say that much, and it makes sense because you know Hans Zimmer worked on that too. That's not against the film or anything. It's actually a good thing. Like it shows because these films have like amazingly good quality, and the sound design is amazing, and the score is amazing. Their fight scenes are good. The film is long, but it never feels long, and there's moments of levity, but also moments of seriousness where you grasp that okay, this is like there's no joking here. This is real. Let's get into it. And I love when like Paul looks at that lady, like he's saying something, and Charlotte Rampling tries to cut him off, and he hits with like a silence. As she hit him with that in the first movie. That was good, man. Like that was good. Like, and she was kind of taken aback by like the sudden and like the raw power that he's got inside of him. So yeah, 10 out of 10 movie, man. I give this movie a solid 10 out of 10. This is the like you know it's the best 10 out. It's the most 10 out of 10 movie I've seen this year so far. You know, so I'll give it that much. This what this movie is. This is the most 10 out of 10 movie I've seen so far. I enjoyed pretty much every aspect of it. It succeeds in everything it seeks to do, and you know, no character feels like a wasted character. No character feels like they could have done more. And yeah, so I really liked it. You know, 10 out of 10 for Dune 2. I can't wait to see more of the adventures of Timothee Chalamet out in the desert. And Dune Messiah is definitely a project I'm going to look forward to seeing. So yeah, this has been Moonlight Kingdom Reviews. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We out here, man. Be sure to check out other episodes on this channel. Check out Moonlight Kingdom Podcast, as well as Fill in the Mode, as we cover WWE 2K22, Fallout, GTA 5, and various other games. Peace.
I wanna be a better me. I wrote a song called Destiny. When I'm in pain, don't let them see. Emotion is the enemy. Therapeutic chemistry. I strive to be a part of you. I wanna help the world get through. Sometimes I feel so small against it all. Don't know what to do. I just dream of ones and twos.